The first time I stood before Empress Voren, I was painfully aware of two things. First, I was the only human in a throne room carved from the heart of a living mountain. Second, I had absolutely no idea why I had been summoned. The capital of the Voren Imperium, Estra Prime, did not resemble any world humanity had catalogued. Its sky shimmered in shifting hues of indigo and amber, refracting through a planetary shield that bent solar radiation into iridescent light. Cities rose like organic sculptures, grown rather than built, their surfaces veined with bioluminescent currents that pulsed in rhythm with planetary energy grids. The Imperium spanned nearly 1,000 inhabited systems. Humanity controlled 11. We were tolerated, observed, occasionally respected, but never central. And yet here I was, Daniel Reyes, Terran diplomatic envoy and systems engineer, standing beneath a vaulted ceiling that displayed a live projection of every star under Voren rule. The throne itself was not elevated by stairs, but by gravity manipulation. It hovered slightly above the floor, shaped from crystalline alloy that seemed to breathe faintly with light. And upon it sat Empress Calith. Her species, the Estrari, were tall and luminescent, their skin resembling polished pearl infused with faint nebular patterns. Her eyes were deep violet, almost black at the center, holding the kind of stillness only rulers possessed. To her right stood her daughter, Princess Liriana Voren. I had seen recordings of her before, every political envoy had. The heir to the Imperium was renowned not only for her intellect, but for her unyielding adherence to tradition. Her presence radiated controlled precision. She did not smile. She did not avert her gaze. And she did not look pleased that I was there. The chamber was silent. Then the Empress spoke. Daniel Reyes of Earth. Her voice resonated through the hall without amplification, layered with harmonic undertones. Yes, Your Radiance. You understand the precariousness of your species' position within the Imperium. Direct. Honest. Yes. Your colonies rely on Voren trade corridors. Yes. Your outer settlements remain vulnerable to piracy beyond our protected lanes. Again, yes. The unspoken implication hovered between us. Humanity needed stability. The Imperium offered it. But nothing in interstellar politics was free. You have demonstrated competence, she continued. Your work stabilizing the Cowrith energy conduits preserved 3 of our mining worlds. I was part of a team, I said carefully. You are the architect of the solution. A flicker of something passed through Princess Liriana's eyes. Assessment. Perhaps skepticism. The Empress leaned slightly forward. I will speak plainly, human. I braced myself. I offer you my daughter's hand. The words struck harder than any physical blow. For a heartbeat, I thought I had misheard. Around the perimeter of the chamber, advisors shifted subtly. Princess Liriana did not move. You would become consort to the heir of the Voren Imperium, the Empress continued. In exchange, Earth would receive permanent protection status and full trade integration. The magnitude of it threatened to buckle my composure. This was not a romantic gesture. It was a geopolitical earthquake, an alliance that would elevate humanity overnight. And I was the fulcrum. I forced myself to look at Liriana. Her posture was flawless, her expression unreadable. She had not spoken. Your Radiance, I said slowly. Does the princess consent to this proposal? A faint murmur rippled through the court. The Empress's gaze sharpened. My daughter understands her duty. That's not what I ask. Silence thickened. Liriana's eyes flickered toward me. For the first time, I saw something there. Not hostility, but exhaustion. The weight of a crown. The court was dismissed with regal efficiency. I was escorted to a private chamber overlooking Estra Prime's horizon. Moments later, the princess entered. Without attendants. Without ceremony. Up close, she seemed younger than her composure suggested. The bioluminescent tracery along her skin pulsed faintly, an estuary indicator of emotional state. "I assume you are overwhelmed," she said. "That would be accurate. You should feel honored." "I do. But—" She stepped closer. "But you asked about my consent." "Yes." Her gaze held mine. "No one else has." The statement landed with quiet force. "Do you want this?" I asked. She did not answer immediately. "In the Imperium," she said at last, "marriage among the ruling lineage is not personal. It is structural." Structural. It reinforces stability, prevents fragmentation, strengthens political alignment. "And your feelings?" She tilted her head slightly. "Estuari are not governed by impulse." "That's not what I asked." Her bioluminescence intensified briefly. "You are direct. It's a human flaw. Or strength." She turned toward the horizon. "My mother believes this alliance ensures peace." "And you?" "I believe peace should not require surrender." The word hung between us. "Surrender?" I echoed. "To expectation," she clarified. I studied her profile. "You don't want to marry me. That is not personal." "It doesn't have to be." She finally looked at me fully. "And what of you, human? Would you accept?" The truth formed before I could restrain it. "Not like this." A flicker, surprise. "You would refuse the Imperium?" "I would refuse marrying someone who didn't choose it." Her eyes widened slightly. "You would sacrifice your species' advantage for that principle?" "I think my species deserves better than coercion." For the first time, she smiled. It was small, but real. Political shockwaves. News of my hesitation spread rapidly. The advisory circle summoned the Empress in closed session. Human ambassadors flooded my comms with frantic messages. "Do you understand what you're risking?" "Yes." "You could secure Earth's future." "At what cost?" I was given 48 hours to respond formally. During that time, Princess Liriana requested my presence daily. Not for ceremony, for conversation. We walked through Estra Prime's upper terraces, where floating gardens shimmered under artificial starlight. "You destabilize assumptions," she said once. "I've been accused of worse." "You do not treat me as leverage." "Because you're not." She considered that. "What are humans taught about power?" "That it corrupts." She tilted her head. "You believe my mother is corrupt?" "No," I said quickly. "I think she's protecting her empire." "And you protect your principles?" "Yes." Silence settled comfortably. A rare thing. The external threat. As if the universe sensed instability, a crisis erupted. Border outposts detected an advancing fleet, the KRYLL Dominion, an expansionist regime long deterred by Voran's strength. Their incursion vectors suggested they believed the Imperium politically distracted, which in truth it was. Emergency war councils convened. Princess Liriana assumed operational command of defense coordination. Watching her in that environment changed everything. She was decisive without arrogance, strategic without cruelty. She did not posture. She calculated. At one critical juncture, an outer colony's shield grid began to fail under KRYLL bombardment. I stepped forward. "Their assault pattern is rhythmic," I said. "They're exploiting harmonic lag in your shield modulation." "You can counter it?" she asked. "Yes. But it requires recalibrating the planetary core amplifiers in real time." "Risk." "Severe." She didn't hesitate. "Do it." Working alongside Astrari engineers, I fed Terran adaptive algorithms into the shield system. Liriana coordinated fleet maneuvers to buy us time. When the recalibration locked in, the KRYLL assault wave ricocheted back through their own resonance corridor. Their fleet faltered, then retreated. The Imperium held. Breaking point. After the victory, the throne room reconvened. Not for celebration, for decision. The Empress regarded me with unreadable intensity. "You have proven your loyalty," she said. "I acted to preserve life. And yet you still hesitate." I drew a steady breath. "Yes." A hush fell. "Explain." I turned toward Princess Liriana, then back to the Empress. "You offer me power beyond anything a human has held within this Imperium. But if I accept solely for strategic gain, I undermine the very stability you seek." The Empress's eyes narrowed slightly. "You imply our system is flawed. I imply that forcing a union breeds resentment. And what alternative do you propose?" I swallowed. "Choice." A ripple of disbelief moved through the chamber. "You presume to lecture me on governance?" the Empress asked. "No," I said evenly. "I ask you to trust your daughter." Silence. Liriana stepped forward. "Mother." The single word carried centuries of hierarchy. "I will not be a bargaining instrument." Gasps. "You challenge imperial precedent," the Empress warned. "I honor it," Liriana countered. "Our lineage survived because we adapted, not because we calcified." The chamber held its breath. Then the Empress looked at me. "If I rescind this offer, Earth loses its guaranteed protection." "I understand. And you would accept that risk?" "Yes." Her gaze shifted to her daughter. "And you?" Liriana stood tall. "Yes." For a long moment, nothing moved. Then the Empress did something no one expected. She rose from the throne, stepped down, and approached us. Up close, the faint luminescent currents beneath her skin flickered. "Emotion. You would refuse an empire for autonomy," she said softly. "Yes," Liriana replied. "And you," she said to me, "would refuse security for integrity." "Yes." Her eyes glistened faintly, and then she spoke the words that would echo across 1,000 systems. "Then I withdraw the proposal." A collective exhale swept the chamber. But she wasn't finished. "The Vorn Imperium does not bind unwilling hearts. Earth will receive protection, not as dowry, but as ally." Shock, respect, recalibration. "And my daughter," she continued, her voice softening, "will choose her future freely." Her eyes met mine. For a fleeting second, I saw something rare. Relief. Ending. A different alliance. Weeks later, Astra Prime felt different. Lighter. The formal pressure had dissolved. Princess Liriana invited me to the same terrace where we had first spoken openly. "You altered centuries of tradition," she said. "I didn't. You did." She shook her head slightly. "You gave me the courage to." We stood in comfortable silence. "Now what?" I asked. "Now," she said thoughtfully, "we decide without expectation." I studied her. "And what do you decide?" Her bioluminescence glowed warmly. "That I would like to know you. Without political contracts." "Yes." I smiled. "That I can agree to." She stepped closer. "Understand something, Daniel Reyes." "Yes. If I ever choose a mate, it will not be because my mother offered me." My heart quickened. "It will be because I desire it." "Good," I said softly. "Good." "Yes. Because if I ever stand beside you, it will be because you chose me." A faint shimmer passed through her eyes. "And if I do?" "Then," I said, meeting her gaze steadily, "it changes everything." High above us, the stars of the Imperium burned steady and bright. An empire had nearly forged a bond through obligation. Instead, it forged something stronger.
Trust. Autonomy.
Alliance built not on coercion, but respect. The Empress had offered her daughter. My answer had shaken a throne room. But in the end, it did more than that. It reminded 1,000 worlds that power without choice is fragile, and that sometimes the most transformative decision in an empire's history begins with a single word.
No.
Followed by something far more powerful. Yes, freely given.